is educational news. Breaking news. Each teacher upon entering the teaching profession assumes a number of obligations, one of which is to adhere to a set of principles which defines professional conduct. These principles are reflected in the following Code of Ethics, and this code shall be applied to all persons licensed according to rules established by the Board of Teaching. And now, let's have a deep understanding on importance of this Code of Ethics and its possible consequences that may happen if the teacher failed to follow this Code of Ethics. For the Article 8, Section 1 to 5, recorded live from Manhuyo, Miss Mylan.
Thank you, Ms. Kadosali. In Article 8, a teacher has a right and duty to determine the academic marks and the promotion of learners in the subject or grades that he or she handles. Such determination shall be in accordance with generally accepted procedures of evaluation and measurement, but if the teacher failed to follow each sections of the Article 8, he or she could face possible consequences toward his or her teaching profession. The teacher has the sole duty to determine the academic marks of the students, but for some instances, the teacher would also overlook some of the important data in recording their students' scores during assessment. And if the learners complain, then the teacher just have to accept the complaint, listen to it, and then take a look at the records. If there is a mistake, then it's just very easy to accept those mistakes, apologize, and do the necessary actions. But if the teacher think that there is nothing wrong with the computation, then they have to be confident telling the parents or the students that there is nothing wrong with the computation. Because more than anyone, the teacher is the only one who knows the grades of the students, because he is the only one who handles the results of the different evaluative tools and quizzes given to the students. Teachers' priority is to ensure the security of the learners, also the feeling of belongingness and instilling knowledge, skills, and values in them. And if a teacher failed to do this, there is a possibility that the learners will never be interested in attending classes in which it can affect the teacher's credibility. He or she may become ineffective in his or her teaching styles. In some cases, if the teacher are not being justificable and impartial with their learners, favoritism and biases could possibly arise, and this will be a great threat in maintaining his or her teaching profession. Favoritism and biases in the class affects boldness, mutual trust, and respect between learners and teacher, which results in the learner's struggle for favoritism instead of studies at academic achievement. In this section, the teacher should not discriminate and degrade each of their learners' differences. So along discrimination, it doesn't matter if they belong to a certain cultural minority. They are less of a person that they are subject to bullying. Everyone is equal in the classroom. The teacher is a role model and should not bully their learners. They should not discriminate their learners depending on its economic status and their cultural backgrounds or even on their mental aspect. They must be impartial in all aspects of their teaching profession towards their learners. Therefore, teachers are responsible in showing humanistic manners like avoiding discrimination and judgment, also practicing treatment on their learners. Teachers are not allowed to accept gifts from learners as well as from parents. For some parents will give gift to associate entitlements. Receiving gift from students and their families may cause a conflict of interest if the gift is of major value. Thus, the act of gift giving can become associated with expecting higher grades and also other favor in return. Specifically, it may appear that teacher may be biased when grading such learners with undeserved academic performance in class. It is a teacher's duty to always consider the welfare and interests of their learners by giving extra time to tutor them for free and not accept any payments unless authorized. It's the teacher's job to give remediation for their pupils, but if the parents of the students in the other grade level would talk to them and would ask them to teach their child outside office hours, that's the time that they can ask for remuneration. But for remedial instructions given to their own students, they are not supposed to be getting additional remuneration because it's their job as a teacher. And that would be all in Article 8, Section 1 to 5. Back to studio, Ms. Kadusali.
Well, thank you for that relevant information, Miss Mylan. And for the continuation on the importance of the Article 8, the teacher and learners, and its possible consequences that may occur if the teacher failed to follow this Code of Ethics under Section 6 to 9, recorded live from Mabinay, Miss Cabanag. Well, thank you, Miss Kadusali. We do believe that all actions and responses are a function of a personal code of ethics, which is the foundation of the differences in teacher styles of dealing with students and school-related situations. The code establishes principles for ethical best practice, mindfulness, self-reflection, and decision-making, setting the groundwork for self-regulation and self-accountability. And for the Article 8, Section 6 and 9, the importance and possible consequences could be as follows. The grades of learners should be based on the outputs, based on the grades of learners on assessments and exams. Teachers are not allowed to deduct scores of learners during class activities for the reason that they didn't behave well in class, because the grades should be from the quality of academic performance of the learners and not on their behavior. There are times that some teachers fail to follow this ethically, in which leads to an evaluation issue and questionable grading system. For some instances, learners will no longer be interested in doing well in maintaining a good academic performance in class, which decreases the learner's motivation to learn. Teachers build good relationship towards their learners, but it has limitations. Avoid issues, scandals, and immoral acts that displays inside the school and in public is observed. But if there is a mutual attraction between the learner and the teacher shall exercise an utmost professional discretion, though it is a professional manner for a teaching profession. Thus, it is considered as a forbidden act for the teacher to fall for their students. As teachers, they stand in loco parentis as record their minor wards. That's why some school and universities prohibited the romantic relationship between the teacher and the learners, in order to avoid a shameful image of the school administration as well as to protect the dignity of the teacher and their learners. A teacher should not hold resentment on their learners or any circumstances that cause displeasure of the teacher. The teacher should not punish their learners by making deductions on their scholastic ratings. And also, a teacher is not allowed to inflict corporal punishment to his or her learners over minor offenses. Because if this happens, it enormously affects the student's learning by means it leads to increased aggressiveness and destructive behavior in the classroom. And for sometimes, it could lead to poor school achievement as well as the increase of dropout rate within the school. The teachers serve as learners' second parent inside the school community. They should know the learner's needs, provides good learning environment, social and mental development, treat their learners as part of their family of being a good friend to them, and ensuring quality education for all students. The teacher must assess their learners' needs and difficulties in learning and building them as a better person in all aspects of their life. That's why the teacher must extend their time and efforts when their learner needs further learning assistance. They should keep motivating and inspiring their learners in the midst of problematic situation. It's the teacher's role to actively listen to their learners' voices, as well as in guiding them to the right path that they should take towards a successful lifetime. Therefore, these sections under Article 8 are very important to the professionals in behaving an ethical manner on their teaching profession. Well, back to the studio, Miss Kadusali. Thank you for that interesting information, Miss Cabanat. And for further information, let's watch this. The teacher has a primary obligation to treat students with dignity and respect, and promotes the health, safety, and well-being of students by establishing and maintaining appropriate verbal, physical, emotional, and social boundaries. A teacher must demonstrate an ethic of care through seeking to understand students' educational, academic, personal, and social needs as well as students' values, beliefs, and cultural background. The teacher must practice respecting the dignity, worth, and uniqueness of each individual student. Not only do they guide students in academic or extracurricular activities, but teachers are also responsible for shaping a child's future, making them a better human being. As second parents, they must extend needed assistance by preventing and solving learners' problems and difficulties. Thus, the teacher is responsible for shaping learners' future as well as in making them a better person for a successful lifetime. Though it is clearly stated that without Article 8 in the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers, the teachers cannot fulfill their duties of being an effective teacher towards their students' learning progress. Because, as we can see in this article, it leads teachers to do their role as a facilitator of learning to the extent of their capabilities for the betterment of life of their students. For more updates, just visit Educational News website. And again, I'm May Kadusali, your Educational News anchor. Goodbye and keep safe, everyone.